All right, guys, welcome back. One more three tech video today, one more video of defensive tackles. Now we're going to be moving a little bit quicker. We're down to, well, still day two, guys, but we're down more into like the round three area now for sure. They're projected to go in the third round a little bit more firmly here. So let's go ahead and take a look at the prospects. We're going to start with a very, very difficult one. Deone Walker, Kentucky. Yeah, this guy ended up being a big disappointment this year, and I don't know where this fits in anymore. He's young, he's 21. We like that. He'll be 21 when the season starts, but the guy's an absolute freak of nature. 6'7", so he's one of the tallest defensive tackles of all time. He's huge, 331. Long arms, big hands. Didn't do a lot at the combine. What he did was not good, but you wouldn't expect a guy who's 331 dang pounds to be able to jump anyway, so whatever. Um, Big boards, we got some third, we got some fourth, we got some seconds, and the database puts him in the third. This was a guy who was in the top 10 when the season started on the aggregate, by the way, so he has fallen like a rock. Um, and you can see why. Look at how much more productive he was in 2023 compared to 2024. Near as I can tell, the thing was he played a lot more like nose tackle and played inside a lot more in 2024. It didn't go well. And that's kind of your first problem here. A guy who's over 330 pounds with long arms like this, a guy like who's this kind of a specimen, you'd like him to be able to play inside, and honestly, it doesn't seem to really take for him. So he's really big, he's really long, he's got physical gifts for days. No one's denying that. There's a universe where this guy becomes a superstar. He moves pretty well in space. He did play a good amount of nose tackle these last few years for Kentucky, so I'm not here to discount that. He's slippery with blockers. He slides off of them. He's actually pretty good working from the outside, which is also kind of the frustration with Deone Walker. He doesn't work as well when he's actually on the inside. It's almost like he's an massively oversized, like 5 tech. And I don't know how that's going to fly. So yeah, downsides are obvious. 2024 was very disappointing. Wasn't nearly as effective playing inside. I don't think he'll ever be the space eater you want because he's just too tall. He never wins leverage. He doesn't have enough power either, which is really disappointing when you're this big and you have arms this long, but he doesn't have knockback power. He doesn't have bull rush power. And he's also got conditioning issues. He can't stay on the field long enough. So it was a barrel of frustration in 2024. I don't know what his role is going to be in the NFL. He's got a lot of problems. I think he could be a star, but there's so much between him and that. I don't think he's going to get there. So late third round is the best I can do. Late third round, and I wanted to love him. I really did. Okay, Shamar Turner. Shamar Turner of Texas A&M. He's 22. Undersized. This is another undersized 3-tech, 290. Got decently long arms, though, so that's good. Big board, second, third, fourth, second, first. Walter loves him. Aggregate puts him in the third, though. That seems to be about where he's landing. 2 years of okay production. 2024, his playmaker numbers, his numbers as a playmaker fell off, and his PFF grade was actually pretty bad. So 2024 was kind of a disappointment for him, but still good. Still riding that 2023 production pretty well. He is smaller, but he plays with such a ferocity that he's able to overcome it. So I actually really like the tenacity he plays with. Really good at shooting gaps and working through gaps to make plays in the backfield. Really good at going laterally to find the right gap. Rockets out of his stance and into contact with great violence. Again, this guy's just doing everything he can to overcome his smaller size. He's always working through traffic to make plays. Powerful hands. They land with a good pop as well. A lot of violence in his game. He's a good athlete. I know he didn't test at the combine, but he is a good athlete. So I actually ended up really being into Shamar Turner the more I looked at him. He's still undersized, so there are going to be problems. So if you're asking him to take on double teams in the NFL, that's just not very likely to work out. His arms are decently long. 33 and 5/8 is pretty good, but I don't get the sense that he fully utilizes that length to win when he should. Like, you should be able to use 33 and 5/8 inch arms to shed more blockers, and I don't think he's totally there yet. And there's a little bit, he takes it a little far sometimes, and look, maybe he has to because he's a smaller guy. Maybe that's just how he overcomes it, but he picks up a lot of penalties. Worth keeping in mind. Anyway, really fun. An undersized interior lineman, finds creative ways to wreak havoc. He might even be able to be like that big edge rusher. I almost wonder if maybe that'll be his role if he ends up in a Mike McDonald defense. Like if he'll end up just being like the oversized edge. He's grown on me, man. I'm middle second round on him, actually. I'm a lot higher on him than most people. I'd put him in the middle second round. I really like Shamar Turner. There's just something about this that resonated with me. And even though he's undersized, I feel like he does so much work to overcome that. And some of the issues with him can be fixed, that I think this guy's going to be really good. I think this guy's going to add a lot of value, even if it just ends up being like a sub-package defensive tackle. Honestly, I don't even think he plays the run that badly. I think he's a good playmaker against the run, even though he's undersized. So I like this. I like Shamar Turner a lot. All right, moving on to our next 3-tech here. Omar Norman-Lott of the Tennessee Volunteers. 23 years old, short, small, so he's definitely undersized. Good long arms, though. 70th percentile arms, big hands, explosive testing numbers, 31.5, 9'5", broad, good stuff there. Big boards, second, third, between those two. Aggregate has him in the third. Production has been okay. Not a lot of plays on the ball overall, but he does do a decent amount in the backfield. He does have 9.5 sacks. Not a big pressure guy overall in terms of his production, but not bad either. Seems like there's a little bit more he could be doing out there, but not bad. He is good at shooting gaps. He can disrupt in the backfield a good amount. I don't feel like he finishes the play as much as he should, but he is skilled at shooting gaps. He moves well laterally. He can work down the line to chase a play down. He's someone who's able to get out of his stance and move laterally to keep up with the outside zone runs. He's got good explosion to close distance. His closing speed is really good. He sheds blockers well, so he's able to work through traffic. He's got a pretty strong upper body despite being undersized as well, which he can use. And he's got some genuine moves he can whip out to work through blockers as well. He's not just depending purely on strength or athleticism or speed or anything like that. He's got moves. Now, he's still small. There's no getting around that. And there are going to be issues because he is a little bit small. And he still has more development to do in terms of his pass rush moves. He's going to need a better bag to make up for the fact that he's so small and not as strong as some of these guys. He's not going to be able to lean on his bull rush at all because that's just not his game. And he'll probably have to be a sub-package guy. He'll probably have to be somebody who goes out there in certain situations and allows other players to be out there for more balanced run-pass situations. But I do think he's really fun. I think he overachieves. I think he overcomes the problems with his size. I really appreciate Norman-Lott, actually. I like him a lot. I don't think he'll ever be elite. I think he'll be a pain in the butt to deal with, though. I think that if you're an opposing offense, you're never going to build your whole game plan around Norman-Lott, but you are going to be annoyed by his presence. So, Omar Norman-Lott, another undersized 3-tech that I found myself appreciating. You just have to know what these guys are going to be able to bring. So, late second rounder, I think is about right. I'd go late second round on him. And I think I'm going to be satisfied as long as I let him stay in his lane. Don't ask him to do too much, and you're going to get what you need. All right, one more guy for this. Joshua Farmer. Joshua Farmer, finally we're off the undersized guys just a little bit here. Florida State, 6'3", 305 pounds, so about average height and weight. Very long arms, 35-inch arms. Those are very close to as long as they get. 10.25-inch hands as well, so he's got big appendages. Tested not great, but understandable for a player like him. 177 10-yard split's a little disappointing, but you can live with it, especially because of his length. And he did show some explosion. Big boards, third round, little bit of second. Aggregate puts him in the third. Production over the last 2 years for Florida State has been pretty good. Averages about 32 tackles a season, 15 tackles for loss total, 9 sacks, 46 pressures. PFF grade's not great, which I feel like is kind of a consistent for a lot of Florida State players. So his length is the name of the game here. He uses his long arms to create chaos. Really hard to get clean hits on him. Really hard to get your arms in on him because he's going to get his arms in on you first. So it's all about that length. His punches are firm and strong. They land with authority. He gobbles up blockers on the inside. He's somebody who can take up space. He's somebody that can absorb attention. He understands leverage as well. He knows how to get low. He knows how to sink his hips to gain an advantage. So he's doing a lot of things right in there. He's got big knockback power. Now, he doesn't have a lot of lateral movement skills. He's not very quick or fast. So he is kind of just a big guy in the middle here for the most part. He also doesn't shed blockers with the speed and the speed and technique that you would like, which is part of the reason why he doesn't have big playmaking numbers. So he's got to learn how to use his long arms for that. And while he can hold his ground against single blockers, I do think that a double team can push him out of the play, and he needs to get a little stouter. So I'm not sure where this goes with Joshua Farmer. I feel like he could be a good nose tackle, but if he's going to do that, he's going to have to cater his game to it. He's going to have to get better at taking up double teams, and he's going to have to just become a little bit stouter. He's close. For now, I think he's a 3-tech, but I kind of would like him to become a nose tackle. So he's going to have to improve, but those arms alone are going to get people's attention. So early third rounder, I can't resist. I may regret it because he's got to change his game a bit, I think, in the pros, but I'll go early third, and I'll deal with the regret later. See you guys later. Go Hawks.